Hey guys, this is the pilot brief for the River Country Muster. Now the first thing you need to know is there will be a pilot brief on every day of the muster on site at about 7 AM. Everyone flying in, we would like to attend. Mainly, most of it will be a repeat of the information you're about to hear. Firstly, we want to make sure that's very ingrained. Secondly, there may be more information that has come up over the due course of an event that we would like to tell you. So that might be things that people have picked up that are flying in that would like to add, or it might just be another issue that's come up that I need you to be well aware of. Next thing we need to make very clear is that Little Italy here behind me, this is not a registered airstrip. This is simply a mowed section in a paddock at Cheviot Hill Station here. Now, when you come to the muster, we need to make it very clear that the muster is a barbecue up that end of the runway. Any flying activity is at your responsibility. Cheviot Hill Station has given permission for us, all BFDU members, to fly anywhere on their property. Very generous of them, but they have absolutely in no way, shape or form acknowledged you or your aircraft's ability as to whether or not you can land there as far as your limitations are concerned. That is up to you as the pilot to judge. Anything that happens to you or your aircraft is at your own risk and your responsibility. So that's the first thing we need to make clear. So the next thing we need to go over is arriving and departing from Little Italy. All arrivals are made from the east. Doesn't matter if we're departing to the north or the south. Always come in from the east. We always depart to the west. Now, Little Italy primarily is a one-way strip, so that's using our southerly runway, so approaching from the north, heading to the south, departing from the south to the north. It can become a two-way strip if winds are strong enough. There's been some clearing of the trees behind us now, so it is now an option. But if that is the case, we will all talk about it before we change the runway direction and make sure it's very clear. Also, make sure you inform everyone on the ground and in the air of your intentions if you are changing the runway direction. I'm standing here right now at the northernmost end of Little Italy Strip. You'll see behind me there's a lot of cleared area that isn't mowed at the moment. And you'll see a very defined line as to where the mowed strip stops here at Little Italy. While yes, you can land out the back there, there is a lot of holes and a lot of rocks. So it is strongly advised that you, while flaring out there, you don't put your wheels down until you're on the mowed section here or past the first runway marker. Landing out there is a risk. Behind me, guys, you'll see off to the southeastern corner of the strip is a mowed section, a mowed parking area. That is not a long-term parking area, nor is it a camping area. It is a short-term parking area, and the intention for it is when you arrive here at the muster, you can pull up there, find your camping area that you'd like, walk the route to make sure there's no holes or rocks. As you'll see, the grass behind me here can be quite long, so there is a lot of nasties hidden in there. Walk the area, make sure your route's clear before taxiing your plane to the parking area. Again, that is not an area for camping or long-term parking. As you approach Little Italy, just remember that there will be multiple aircraft flying within the immediate area. Within just 9 miles of Little Italy, to the south here, we've got Homestead and Drake International. To the north of me, we've got Paddy's Flat and the playground, where there'll be a lot of guys doing some off-airport flying. All these areas are much harder than here at Little Italy, and it means that the guys who will be flying there will have their concentration pretty well taken up. Now, it is very much still their responsibility to be aware of you and what you're up to, but just be very aware of them and maybe give them a bit of a wide berth. We do have a strict no flyby rule here at Little Italy, and we do like to enforce that one. It is simply a safety thing. We want everyone to stick to their circuit procedures of approaching from the east, departing to the west. And if we've got no one doing any flybys, we just want to make sure everyone goes home safe and sound. Keep in mind, it was only a few years ago that at a similar event in the States to this one, 2 of my very good friends lost their lives, where one guy didn't stick to circuit procedures, another guy did a flyby over the camping area, and unfortunately 2 great lives were lost. Okay, so some radio procedures. When you're here at Little Italy, we like to use the channel fingers. That's 123.45, the general chit-chat channel. Whenever you're within 10 miles of Little Italy, we like you to stick on that channel. So that's from here right up to Paddy's Flat and anywhere else on Cheviot Hill Station. As you do venture further afield, if you don't want to clog up the radio, if you want to have a chat with your mates, we use 4 fingers. That's 1, 2, 3, decimal 4. Yeah, look, if you can, try to stay on 5 fingers. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just so we know where you're at. But we tend not to want to use other channels, only that if something happens to you, if we know you're on one of those 2 channels, we know where to find you. However, of course, there's an exception to the rule. If you're venturing near, say, Casino, Tenterfield, Lismore, any of the other airports in the region, of course, as a pilot, you know when it's appropriate to use their channel and when you should be using their channel. But where possible, it's 5 fingers as a backup, 4 fingers. Now, when you're on the radio, registrations don't mean a lot out here in the bush. So there's no point of someone on the radio, you know, talking about Cessna Delta India Kilo. We would rather you describe your aircraft. So we'd like to know your aircraft type and a basic description. For example, I'm White Storch. You might be Blue Super Style or white and green Cessna Skywagon. Just something so when we're looking up, we actually know how to identify you. As I said, registrations have very little input here in the bush. When you do arrive here at Little Italy, you'll see behind me in the old camp kitchen, there will be a sign-in form. Look, it's just a basic simple thing so we know who's here and who to keep an eye out for. It's just sign your name, your aircraft rego, and just sign out again when you're leaving. Very simple, not hard. Again, just a safety thing. We just have another form as well that this is by no means, shape or form compulsory. It's just something there that's available to you guys. And we call it our daily piss farting about log. There'll be a bunch of these sitting over there. All they are is just a chance to put your name, your rego, if you're flying in a group, who else you're flying with. The main thing is we just give you a chance to have a rundown of where you're planning on flying that day. There's almost no phone reception in this area, so it's just so you have a hassle and you don't come back in an afternoon, we can pull one of these out and have a fair idea where to look for you. That's all. Last thing I want to go a bit over, guys, is off-airport flying. It is a big part of the muster. It's a big part of why a lot of us are here. Not all of us, but there is definitely going to be a bit of it going on. I know personally, that's the main reason I come out here. So, when you are off airport flying, try and stay in a group. Groups of 2 to up to, say, 5 people are ideal. That way you've always got a bit of support and someone who knows where you are. Ultimately, you typically want to let the guy with a bit more experience and the more capable aircraft go in first. Let them go in, tell you about the strip condition, anything they've worked out along the way. But look, I'll let you guys make that up as you go. Communicate, communicate, communicate. Make sure that you know where everyone else in your group and everyone else around you is. You want to be able to know where exactly the location of everyone within the immediate area. So you can concentrate safely on what you're doing and you don't have to worry about them. Don't ever bunch up. Give the person who's approaching one at a time, just going one at a time, and give them plenty of room. Everyone else, stay up high. A lot of the spots around here are going to be down in valleys. Paddy's Flat, for example, probably our most popular spot. It's down in amongst cliffs. So when you're in your group, let one go in, everyone else stay up high, well out of the valley. Give yourself plenty of room and plenty of time so no one's feeling pushed. You just want whoever's on approach to land or to take off to be able to give what they're doing 100% concentration. When you do get down, keep the spot clear. Extend to the end of the landing area and then clear right off the strip. Don't stop halfway down to get a photo. Just once you're down, get the area clear and then notify the other guys in your group that you are well out of the way so the next guy can start his approach. If anyone has any hassles in any of these strips, say there's any damage, a breakdown, whatever, we don't need 101 aeroplanes flying over there to help. The truth is there'll be a select few who'll be able to help. There's a lot of guys with a lot of mechanical skills that are coming to the muster. Let them go out. Let them be the cavalry. Basically, if you're not going to be useful, we'd rather you here at Little Italy, having a beer, having a sausage, keeping out of the way, and just let a small group handle it. If you are needed, you will be asked for help. If you guys have any trackers, so say InReach, spots, whatever, make sure they're running all the time. So obviously, carry your PLB. This is some serious tiger country around here. We want everyone to have a PLB. But if you've got a tracker, leave it running for the time of the muster, because then if anything happens and you haven't had a chance to set anything off, we at least know the general area where you've been. Also, if you have Avplan, Oz Runways, any of that sort of software, try and have that running at the same time as well. There's no reception on the ground, but there's typically a bit of reception up in the air. And again, all those devices, your tracks can be traced. And if anything does happen to you, we at least know where to look. It is important you guys know there is almost no phone reception for about 20-30 miles around the muster here. And if anything does happen to you, contact will be the hardest thing. Make sure you're never pressuring the guy in front of you. In fact, we have a big rule here at the muster: no pressure whatsoever. If you don't want to do something, don't do it. If anyone is giving you a hard time about thinking, oh, you could have gone into that spot and you weren't feeling it that day, tell me and they can piss off. We don't want them here. You just do what you feel up to on that day. There's a lot of spots around here in previous musters I've been into 100 times before. Late night the night before, I wasn't feeling it, so I don't go in. Never feel pressured. Your flying is your responsibility. Whatever happens to you or your aircraft is on your back, so it's important that you make the right decision. If anyone here at the muster at any point is deemed as dangerous or a douchebag, I don't like you, I don't like the way you're flying, or you're making someone else feel uncomfortable, you're gone. We don't want you here. Everyone's first priority here at the muster should be the safety of themselves and everyone else around them. We don't want to spoil this for everyone else in the future. We don't want to spoil our sport in general. We love it, and we've all got everyone else's best interests at heart. So guys, be safe, don't be an idiot, come to the muster and have a great time. Looking forward to seeing you.